This video is all about the AS VAL and its return to Rebirth after the new nerfs that took place in the Season 4 Reloaded update. If you enjoy gameplay videos like this, don't forget to sub to the channel as we try to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. But like I said, we're using the AS VAL along with the Sykov pistol in this gameplay, because if you don't know already, both of those guns are actually some of the fastest killing weapons now inside Warzone. Now, whilst this gameplay runs in the background, I'm going to talk about some pros and cons of this loadout right here, but we did get a win with this class setup, and I was running with randoms, so it wasn't the best gameplays I've ever gotten, but I did get a lot of good team wipes with these two weapons here. Now, the first thing that stood out to me about this loadout is, of course, the full loadout is a close range class, so if you struggle with up close gunfights, then this is not the class setup for you, because you have to be up in the enemy's face constantly. Neither of these two guns can handle medium to long range well, so you're going to have to be either in a building gunfight or at close range pretty much all of the time. But when you do get in that close range, you could pretty much outgun absolutely everything that is in that range. You're going to be finding yourself winning most of your gunfights, especially even if the enemy shoots first sometimes. If they have like a bullfrog or something like that, you're going to fry them so easily with either your Sykov or the AS VAL. So now, having said all of that, as you can see, what I'm doing here is pretty much pushing absolutely every fight I can see, because the main focus here is to get in that close range distance where these two weapons perform extremely well. And you'll see a clip here where I actually managed to kill two enemy players with the Sykov pistol, and I've done a reload on my AS VAL here because I was running out of complete ammo. But like I said, you kill enemies so quickly with either of these two guns. Now, one thing you will notice, and it's something that I was struggling with in this gameplay, and you will see me struggle to hit some shots here, but the issue that you do have with these guns is because they're both Modern Warfare weapons, they just don't have the movement capabilities of the Cold War guns. You do get some insane strafe speeds when you use something like a MAC-10, a ppsh, even a bullfrog, or anything else. You do get some really good strafing speeds, but with the AS VAL and the Sykov, you just don't get that strafe speed. Now, this puts you in a disadvantage in two ways. First of all, you're not going to be able to dodge any bullets, so if you're trying to strafe left to right whilst firing both of these guns, you're not really going to be making your enemy miss any shots here. They're still going to land pretty much all their shots. But then secondly, if someone is using a ppsh or a MAC-10, for example, or even an XM4 that has decent strafe speed, then you're going to be missing a lot of your shots when you're in those close quarters gunfights. And I've noticed this with a lot of the Modern Warfare weapons in general, and I do feel like this is the reason why they actually nerfed the TTK on the Cold War MP5 a bit more than the Modern Warfare MP5, is because it does have the faster and better movement capabilities. That is the only reasoning I can think that they did it for, is because that you do get slightly better movement on the Cold War guns. But maybe that's not the reason that they did it, but like I said, I'm not really too sure. Now, another thing I do want to talk about quickly is the Sykov pistol. Now, it's clear that the AS VAL has the fastest TTK in the entire game, and the fact that it does have a small magazine to kind of compensate for this, so that's kind of a good balancing method. But when it comes to the Sykov pistol, it doesn't have the fastest TTK, but it does have a really good TTK up close, as I will show you later on in this video. But a 20 round mag as its base magazine or its second magazine attachment is not really a great option. I do feel like they should boost this up to 30 as well, and it'll make it a bit more viable as a secondary weapon, and you don't need to sacrifice so much of your movement speed just to get a larger mag. Something like 30 would be a good option instead of the 20 round mag, and then you can also have the 80 round mag as well if you really want to choose that. Again, I feel like they should do a similar thing to the AMP as well and give that a 30 round mag option too, because it does have a very similar TTK to the Sykov pistol, so either one can be interchanged. It's just whether or not you want to have better movement, you would go with the AMP, or if you want that 80 round mag just so you've got a larger magazine option, then you would go with the Sykov pistol. Having said all that though, both of these weapons still can be used to squad wipe enemies, as you will see throughout this gameplay here. You'll see me take on multiple enemies with both of these guns, and it's quite straightforward to do as long as you're able to switch weapons quick enough, which you'll actually see me do in this clip right here. I actually switched to my AS VAL, I was trying to reload it, but then ended up switching back to the Sykov pistol. And that is one of the reasons why I do think the 80 round mag in this loadout is quite handy on the Sykov. Because you only get 30 rounds on the AS VAL, it's quite handy to have one of the weapons have a larger magazine option. The last thing I want to talk about is optics. Now, I don't feel like you need optics on either one of these two weapons when it comes to Rebirth. I don't think you really need optics on any fully automatic SMG, pistol, or assault rifle inside Rebirth. Most of your gunfights are either close or medium range, and most iron sights are capable of allowing you to win most gunfights at those ranges. So unless the gun has like really crappy iron sights, then maybe go for an optic. Unless you're using a sniper rifle or something like that, for example, as well, then you will need an optic, of course. But like I said, I don't think you need it for either one of these two weapons. The iron sights you get are good enough to win super close range gunfights. The last part of this gameplay was pretty funny, actually. I was trying to help my teammate out. He's actually sitting on this rooftop to the left, and he manages to squad wipe the whole team before I even get there. And that's a first. Usually that never really happens, where the teammates are actually really good at the game. I didn't realize we actually won the game until it actually came up on screen. So here is the class setup we used for this video and gameplay. So for the class setup, and I will have some TTK values on screen as well, because both of these weapons right here are some of the fastest killing guns inside Warzone at the moment, and that's why I like to use these two guns inside Rebirth. So for the class setup for the AS VAL, I skipped over the barrel entirely because I don't think you need this, especially in those close quarters gunfights. And the longest barrel only helps with damage range and bullet velocity, so it doesn't really help with recoil control. Then what I went for was the Merc foregrip to get recoil control as well as hipfire accuracy. I went for the 30 round mags because this is the only attachment you need to use when it comes to magazines. It's the only one that allows you to get any sort of kills with this gun. Then for the rear grip, I actually went for the rubberized grip tape for even more recoil control. Then I did go for the 1mW laser just for slightly better hipfire accuracy. You could use a tac laser as well, but I went for the 1mW. Then for the stock, I did go for the skeleton stock, and that is a great class setup for the AS VAL, especially inside Rebirth. Another quick change you could make to this is remove the rubberized grip tape and add on sleight of hand. The amount of times I was trying to reload and I wish I could reload a little bit quicker would have been quite handy inside this game mode. Moving on now to the Sykov, and the way you want to build this is for the fully automatic barrel, of course, because that's going to give you that super fast TTK that you would have seen on screen. So for the muzzle, you do want to use the monolithic suppressor for the sound suppression as well as the damage range. For the barrel, you do need to use that full auto barrel, and this is going to give you that super fast TTK. Then for the ammunition, you need to use the 80 round drum mags. The 20 round mags are just not enough when it comes to the Sykov pistol. It's going to make it like another AS VAL if you use the 20 round mags. So you do want to use the 80 rounds. It does slow you down quite a bit, but like I said, I highly recommend using these magazine attachments because you've got a lot of leeway to miss shots with this. And especially considering the AS VAL only has 30 rounds, you do want your secondary weapon to have a bit more ammo. Then for the laser attachment, you do want to choose the tac laser. You can also go for the 1mW laser on this as well. But this time round, because you do get a Conta ADS with the 80 round mags, I went for the tac laser. And then lastly, I went for the Prizrak grip, and this is going to give you an even faster ADS time and faster sprint to fire time. But you could go for the Elita grip as well, which helps with recoil control. So it's just going to come down to what you think is personal preference. Now, like I said, when it comes to perks, I was running EOD, Restocked, and Tracker. I don't really feel like I need Ghost inside Rebirth. I don't think it's really that useful. And then Tracker I used instead of Sleight of Hand because, like I said, switching to a secondary pistol already swaps really quickly anyway, so you don't really need Sleight of Hand on there. Then I was using throwing knives and stun grenades. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we try to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and click that link in the description to subscribe to our main channel as well. And thank you very much for watching.